Business owners have to think differently than employees. Developing a business mindset is key if you're going to be successful in business. When I left my career to start my business, people thought I was crazy. In many ways, I thought I was crazy. And I see so many people starting their business because they're passionate about their craft and they have a desire for more freedom. If you don't shift your mindset from an employee mindset to a business mindset, entrepreneur mindset, you will struggle. So what is an entrepreneurial mindset? Years ago, I went for a job interview for a position, and one of the questions in that interview process was, how have you adopted an entrepreneurial mindset? I didn't even know what that word meant. I grew up, my family owned a small business, but entrepreneur wasn't a word that was in my lexicon. And so I went and I looked that up, and what I resonated with is risk taker. And I knew that I, as an employee, I was willing to take risks. In my life, I was willing to take risks. And for some reason, I ended up getting that job. And inside that job, I was surrounded by entrepreneurs. I learned so much about business and growing businesses. And in that company, grew that company to over $60 million. Grew multiple million-dollar companies using many entrepreneurial tools. And so shifting from that employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset is key to your success if that's where you are right now. Those same skills have helped me now in my own business build a 7-figure business because I've adopted this entrepreneurial mindset. One of the first books I read around this was Robert Kiyosaki, and he was talking about being an employee versus being a business owner and what's required, and just recognizing that when you're an employee, it's a different thinking. When you're an employee, you wake up, you go to your job, somebody else has developed the mission, the core values, oftentimes the vision. Even if you're in a leadership role, there's sometimes a sense of security. You know you're going to get your paycheck or your bonus or your benefits. There's a rhythm to that where you know your roles, your responsibilities. And when you're really good at what you do, it's easy to think, well, if I was good here and I was successful doing this in a job, automatically that's going to transfer over when I start my own business. And I've seen this over and over and over again, where an employee moves into an entrepreneur, starts their own business, and they really struggle because they haven't been able to identify the mindset tools and the thinking required to be successful now in this new endeavor. First of all, recognizing that owning your own business is so much more about being good at your craft. You may be a really great plumber, a really great hairstylist, a really great chiropractor. You may be really good at helping people, but doing your craft well is such a small percentage of owning a business. All of a sudden, you're not just responsible for your craft, you're responsible for everything operationally. You need to do your marketing, attract new clients, your bookkeeping. If you need to hire staff, train staff, all of a sudden you go from being responsible and being really good at your craft to now having to learn all of these new things. And oftentimes when we're growing our business, we're spending 85% of our time. And if you're not, you should be doing marketing, client attraction, sales, which is often an area that we struggle with. This was something I absolutely had to learn. I had lots of beliefs around sales and what that meant. And I really had to shift my thinking into more of a heart-centered approach, so that I wasn't just a good coach, but I could also build a business doing the thing that I loved. And so I want to offer you some qualities, characteristics to start adopting in order to be more successful, not just in your craft, but also as a business owner. The number one key to being successful in business really starts with your passion, your desire. Napoleon Hill, in his book, Think and Grow Rich, he talks about having a burning desire. If you're kind of, this would be okay, or I'm not really sure, you're hesitant in any way, that is going to make the hard days harder. When you have a passion and a burning desire to do the thing you're doing, to make an impact in the world, to influence people, where it's going to take you, that passion needs to be at the front and center every single day. Because there's going to be hard days. There's going to be days where you fail, where things don't work out, where you don't want to get out of bed in the morning. But the more you keep that passion, that desire, that vision for what it is that you're working on front and center, it will make those hard days so much easier. Any successful entrepreneur, you'll hear that in their voice as they talk about what they get to do and how they're doing it. They come alive with that. So keeping that passion front and center, really key. The second quality that's essential as an entrepreneur is resiliency. Resiliency is our ability to bounce back. Our resiliency is the ability to say, hey, chances are I'm going to fail. I'm going to make mistakes. And you won't hear any success story without lots and lots of mistakes, lots and lots of failures. Failure will absolutely be a part of your journey. Your resiliency is your ability to bounce back from those failures, your ability to make mistakes, to learn from them, to grow from them. And you will hear over and over again that people learn more from their failures than they do their successes. And now in 10 years in business and over 20 years mentoring entrepreneurs, I would say it's absolutely been the same for me. When I look at my big learning moments, they were on the other side of failures, the other side of mistakes. So when you get down, your ability to bounce back is going to be key. Remember, you're not alone. You will have self-doubt. You will have failure. You will make mistakes. It's part of the journey. The next quality that's really key is persistence. Persistence, persistence, persistence. Consistency. Your ability to take action over and over and over again. Your persistence to knock on people's doors when they say no and to follow up, not take no for an answer, to keep taking action on your vision, to be persistent in that, to serve that vision, serve that business every single day, and not get discouraged by the no's, not get discouraged when you're not seeing the results, but that persistence in taking action. And let me just say that's not always easy. Your persistence in taking the action that you know is going to create results, even when you're not seeing the effect of that, the impact of that right away. If you know that making those videos, going to those networking events, reaching out to those suppliers, asking for the sale, doing that over and over and over again, even when you're not seeing the evidence, taking that action consistently is so key. And what happens when you're persistent, when you're consistent, all of a sudden doors start to open. So many people, they just change paths too often. So if this isn't working, they go try that, and that doesn't work, and they go try that, and they go do something else, and their energy is so split. When you know that there are certain actions, certain tasks that will absolutely produce results, stay consistent, stay persistent with those. And the final key mindset of an entrepreneur, I believe, is humility. It's so important. You're the visionary of your company. You have that passion, you have that belief. It's so important, but the humility and to be humble enough to say, I can't do this on my own, to stay humble to what you don't know, to be able to continue to learn, to be willing to ask for help, to know that we're not meant to do life on our own. So your ability to be humble enough to what it is that you don't know, what do you need to learn, where can you ask for help? And it really does take a team to achieve a dream. And so being humble enough to ask for help and to admit your weaknesses will be key to your success. Before we get to the last one, I just want to speak to the importance of being a continuous learner. Leaders are learners, making a commitment to be a lifelong learner. If it's reading books, hanging out with other people who've achieved results that you want to achieve, having those mentors, continuing to invest in yourself and specifically in your own awareness. Your business will never outperform your mindset. And so the more that you're a continuous learner, you're investing in yourself, you're developing yourself, that will allow your business to continue to grow. And so if you want to be a leader, make sure you're a learner. Make a commitment that you're a lifelong learner, and you will see that pay dividends again and again and again. We put together some resources for you, some podcasts, some of my favorite business books. If you are in this place where you're building a business, you're struggling, you just can't seem to break through and figure this out, really looking at this, shifting your mindset from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset, and being a continuous learner, success leaves clues. And so we've created some resources. Download that. It's got some podcasts, some books, some connections, and some additional resources from me to really help you expand your mindset to be successful in your business. And just know for me that you are absolutely capable of having success here. If you have the desire, you can learn the skills, you can develop the mindset required to be successful in your business. I'm Stacey Berger. Here is to you living a life that you love.